what we're talking about is that you have the Nefesh Bahamas, and he tries to play tricks. And we said the Nefesh Bahamas has his sources from Tehu, and we said how is it possible for the Nefesh Elikis, which the Nefesh Elikis' source is from Tikkun, which we explained all of these concepts before, and we said that really the source of Tikkun is higher than the source of Tehu, and that's why the Nefesh Elikis can be the Nefesh Bahamas, which comes from Tehu. And it's basically what we said. So now we're able to go forward into something. I've learned it years ago. We'll see what we're going into. With this we can understand that which the rabbis said, that they make a person swear that he should be a tzaddik and that he shouldn't be a rasha. This is probably a line that most little Chabad kids know. Everyone is the beginning of Tanya Parak Aleph. I mean, really, it's from Maseches Nida. We all know that Maseches Nida just quoted it from Tanya. But it's that when before the person is born, we say every day in the Kabbalah, we say that every knee bends to you, every tongue swears to you. So the Gemara says, what does every tongue swear? It says that before a person is born, they make him swear that him or her that they're going to be a tzaddik and not a rasha. The shul is a ba I say it's hysterical. Maybe you could say that not her also, because they teach the whole Torah and Torah is in this woman, whatever. Anyhow, the point is that they make a person swear that they're going to be a tzaddik and not a rasha. And this shul comes after they teach the whole Torah. It says that I've made souls of Amar Rabbeinu Shasi Eden. And the Alter Rebbe wrote in Tanya, that when it says in Shamayis Aniyasisi, that when Hashem says I created souls, it's referring to two souls. One soul is from the side of Klippa and the other side, the side which is in holiness. And this is what is enclosed in the blood of a person to give life to the body. And as it says that the soul of flesh is in the blood. And from it come all of the bad midas, all of the bad inclinations, or all of the bad measures that a person has, which come from the four bad foundations in it. We say the anger and haughtiness come from the element of fire, shenigva l'mayla, which gets raised above, because when a person has anger or haughtiness, anger or pride, what it means is that a person feels like he's something, like his spirit is rising, that he's an entity for himself, and he needs to be careful about his pride, about it. The anger is saying that I have my own agenda, I have my own, and someone came and they disrespected me, they disrespected what I stand for. This is the notion of rising up. The same thing goes with pride, although with pride it's pretty much in the essence of what it is. The Taivas Nogim, we said the Mayim, and the pleasures and indulgences from the element of water, because water causes all kinds of pleasure to grow. And saying empty things and laughing and there's a bunch of different lashonis that are whatever.
Like idle talk.
Idle talk. Yeah. They have they have a translation for all of the things.
They do, but it was an interesting translation.
Isparos would be like making yourself to be full of something, and Dvar Matelim would be idle talk. That would be like a literal translation. These all come from Yisayt Ruach. They come from the element of air, or from wind. The Atzvus we said the offer, and laziness and depression come from the element of earth. And also, good midas that Yidden have in their nature, such as mercifulness and the nature to give kindness, come also from these four elements. Because in Yidden, this soul of Klippa, it's from the twilight Klippa. It has also some good. He said, it is from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. This is all a quote from the end of Tanya Parak Aleph, and now we're going to the beginning of Tanya Parak Beis. So this was like really a Kuntreis Umayan class, and I guess you get a secret Tanya class. And the second soul by a Yid is a portion of Hashem from above, literally. As it says that you blew in that he blew into his nostrils soul of life, and we also say we say in other kind of Shama, and as it says in Zayar, that when a person blows, he blows from inside of him. Perish. That is the same from the person's innermost aspect, from his innermost aspects. Because the inner aspect of a person's life and vitality that a person has inside of him, he blows when he blows out with strength. When you blow really hard, you feel it inside of you. It's like you're squeezing yourself. So too, by way of parable, it says that the souls of Yidden rose in Hashem's thoughts. As it says, my son, my firstborn Yidden, and it says that we're like sons to Hashem. Pirush, that is to say, just as the son comes from the mind of the father, so too the souls of every Jew is drawn from the thoughts and the wisdom of Hashem. Because Hashem is smart, but not with the known chachma, which is to say that the wisdom of Hashem is much more intimately connected to Himself than with us. We have ideas that present themselves to us, and we can know them, we can be wise with them, but they're not so essentially bound up with us. This is not so with Hashem. At least this is referring to the level of Atzilus, but by Chachma Atzilus, as far as Atzilus is concerned, Hashem is one with His Chachma. This is explained over there in the Hagal. So, this is, I believe, this concludes the quote from Tanya. So, this is what it means when it says that I've created souls, the Kaya Nafsha Lekis Nafsha Bahamis, which refers to the godly soul and to the animalistic soul. As a Nafsha Lekis Lam Nesatera Kula, they teach the godly soul the entire Torah of Oisa Hush Mashbiin Titzadik Al Tirasha. And it is this soul, the Nafsha Lekis, that they make swear that it should be righteous and that it should not be wicked. What is the purpose of the oath that they have, the Nefesh HaLekis specifically swear over the Nefesh HaBahamis? Because the fact that a person is able to be bad is because of the Nefesh HaBahamis. The Nefesh HaLekis isn't interested in being evil. The Nefesh HaLekis is interested in doing what Hashem wants. You're taking the good one and you're making him swear to do good. So this is what he's going to do. This is what he is. From the Nefesh HaBahamis comes all of the bad midas in anger and in haughtiness and in pleasures. All of the things that we enumerated before. In Cain, so what is the purpose of what is the purpose? What is the oath that they make the Nefesh HaLekis swear? The concept is the Shvua Seva. The word Shvua is the same. It's the same word. It has the same letters. It's related to the word Seva, which means satiation. That Seva, because a person that is satiated in Yarnei Hanasinas Kayach, the Indian is that he's satiated, that he's taken in a lot. That's what when you're satiated when you have a lot of food in your belly. So when we say seva, it's like referring to a person that has a lot. So we're saying over here it's referring to a person that has a lot of power from above. So that he should be able to do his avodah in learning Torah and in doing mitzvahs. Just like Begashmis, when a person is satiated, besides for the fact that he now has physical strength, he's physically able to do more. He also has his spirit is also like good upon him. He's also good spirited. And as it says, that you'll be satiated from bread and you'll be good. Not just that you're physically weaker, it's that you're bad spirited when you're hungry.
But is that referring, because if we take it back to the Yetzer Hara and the Yetzer Tov, like in that instance when you're hungry, the Yetzer Tov, would that be depleted? Would that be somewhat out of breath? Like would it be, as I feel, which is just so lethargic and have no energy, but the Yetzer Hara, is that still full of energy? Like now is my opportunity.
The Yetzer Hara can have more of like a burst of that, but it's not. I mean, he doesn't explain the concept of why it is that a person. I mean, maybe that I didn't prepare the wrong paragraph. So maybe he does get into it. He just says it's kind of like a given, just something that we observe, that a person is better when they're. I think it's just their overall. I think it's just overall composition, that when the body is weaker, then the overall composition is just worse off. But I don't know. So.
It'd be interesting to ask a whole bunch of people and say, when you're hungry, does your Yetzer Hara really take over? Do you do, not to say to someone, do you do an Avera, but do you do more Averas when you're hungry?
I think in general, being bad spirited causes the person to do more Averas. I think that like what keeps a person from doing Averas is a sense of uprightness that a person has, that they have enough shalikis, etc., etc. And yeah, I mean, I don't think that being It's a different. Honestly, I think that there's like a mile and there's a chesron. I think that sometimes not having food in your body can cause you to not do Averis. I think that sometimes not having food in your body can cause you to do Averis. I don't think there's any particular leaning towards one side or the other of doing Averis. Like being hungry, like necessarily makes you more inclined to doing Averis, versus being hungry makes you necessarily not inclined. I think that it really just depends. But I think that overall, a person's general composition becomes worse, and that's, I think, what we're saying.
I'd say with Lashon Hara, it would definitely be, if you're hungry, you're more likely to speak Lashon Hara.
Well, only if you're sitting in someone's house and the balabas is in the kitchen for too long.
True.
That's true. So, yeah. Anyhow. So, Cain, who baruchnin sha'aseva, who understands kach. So too it is in spirituality that there's this concept of spiritual satiation where you have power from above. This is what it means when they say that they make him swear. But machtem zat, not that you make him swear, but machtem zat, you make him satiated. That you give him power from his source. You give the nefesh his power from its source which comes earlier than the nefesh Bahamas, which the nefesh Bahamas is from Teva, the nefesh is from Tikkun, but the source of Tikkun is higher than the source of Teva, as we explained in the last matter. So with this power, it's able to prevail over the nefesh Bahamas and not to be wicked. This is also the concept of the oath in a simple meaning. When a person swears about something to do it, even if there are going to be things which stop a person from doing it, nothing will stop him and he will do it. This is what the essence of an oath is. An oath is saying, if something is easy, you don't need to take an oath. It's like the oath is superfluous. If something is difficult, that's when you take an oath, because the oath is you're binding yourself. You're saying that I'm going to do it even though it's difficult. This is something. It raises a power from the powers which are hidden inside of him. Because through these essential powers, there is nothing that can stand in a person's way. And as it says, there is nothing which can stand before a person's will. Or I think that they say nowadays, if there's a will, there's a way. Yeah. So it's not to say that you can do miracles if you have a strong will, but as far as whatever you can do, whatever is in your power, if it's something that depends on you, if you have a will, you could do it. This is what it is. And if you took an oath, you're binding your will to this thing. I mean, it really depends on your level of honesty or whatever it is. But like, if a person really takes an oath that it's mukhlat inside of them, that it's determined that they are determined because of the oath that they made that they're going to do kach v'kach, their will is bound that they're going to do it. This is also the concept of the oath that they make the nefesh alakis swear. Hainu sheizgalu achechis and alamim shabei. They do it to reveal within the nefesh halikis the source of the nefesh halikis, the powers that are hidden inside of him, inside Shar Kadum, which come because of its source. That because of this, there will not be any withholding or stumbling or anything holding him back from the nefesh Bahamas, because he will prevail over the nefesh Bahamas.
And Hashem, if you make an oath, Hashem, is it almost saying that Hashem has to listen to you? Obviously, as long as you have the will, as long as you have the ability, does Hashem have to listen to you?
I don't think that's what it's saying. I think it's saying that by making the nefesh halikis swear the oath, that arouses within the nefesh halikis the power that he has latent inside of him from its source.
So, like, if you were, let's use a marathon as an example. If you swore, like, I'm going to finish this marathon, I'm going to run all 42 kilometers, or whatever it is, I think it's 42, then...
Like 26.2 miles.
Something like that, whatever it is. It's a massive amount of, it's huge. And, for example, me, like, if I start running, within the first 100 meters, my Yetzer Hara is like, what are we doing this for?
Why is it your Yetzer Hara?
I don't know. Isn't that, what do you mean?
I think it's a pretty reasonable response to get tired after running 100 meters.
Well, because there's a mitzvah apparently to keep healthy and exercise and take care of your body, and I don't do that. Yeah, you can keep healthy and exercise
without running 42 kilometers.
But it's not even that. It's within the first 100. It's even with the first 50 meters. As soon as I start running, as soon as my foot hits the pavement, my Yetzer Hara is like, why? Like, why are we going to do this?
Well, if it's the moment your foot hits the pavement, I think that's the Yetzer Hara. But I think that once you get to like 300 meters, I don't think it's enough. I don't think it's the Yetzer Hara anymore.
You can argue with my wife, thanks. I like your point of view.
No, it's important to have an appreciation of what's like a reasonable thing, and what's like from the nefesh. But
if you take an oath, does it subdue in that sense? Like using that example, but I mean we could use many examples in that case. Does it subdue the Yetzer Hara?
I mean, it wouldn't be the nefesh halikis taking the oath. It would be you taking the oath. What are you? Are you the nefesh halikis? Are you the Yetzer Hara?
I'm gonna make up of both.
Are you something else entirely? This is a good question. This is not what we're discussing. Punkt right here. But these are all things to think about. But no, it's the notion of if you take an oath and you're bound to the oath, then you will do what's in your power to. You'll do what's in your power to do it. Yeah, basically, that's what it is. If a person took an oath and it was like a mistaken oath, then maybe they won't. I mean, there's a concept of an oath that it says that if a person violates an oath and they're getting malchus, then even if while they're being bent down to get the lashes, a base then is matcha the neder, because they say that it was originally made with false intent or whatever it is, that they don't get the malchus, because it needs to be true. But if it really is true, then it's very difficult to intentionally violate an oath. The point is that if a person really binds themselves with an oath, then they're able to draw out whatever they have inside of them to actually do what it is. And this is how it works with the nefesh halikis. The nefesh halikis has the power to subdue. In Cain, and if this is so, we're going back to something we discussed in either the last mimer. I'm not sure if it was the first case or the second case. I think it was the first case. But with this is nullified the argument that people have. They say that their natural inclination, their passion, is too strong. Seeing as the nefesh halikis, the godly soul, comes before the nefesh bahamas, and it has a higher source than the nefesh bahamas, and it has power from its source which comes before. In Cain, with this power is able to prevail over the nefesh bahamas. Even if it will be extremely powerful. Because all of the strength of the nefesh bahamas is from its source in Tayu, and its source in Klipas Negav, in Cain, and nefesh halikis, and the Shorshe Kaldum, Yisr, the Mailim, Kinas Tayu, Harei Yishbe, Kach, Chezak, Galdu, Liskaralam. So it has the nefesh halikis, which it has a source which is higher than Tayu. It has the ability, it has a lot of power, and it's able to prevail over the nefesh bahamas. Kasher Achem Ativi Shalei Chazak, when a person's natural passion is very strong, certainly his godly soul is also more powerful. All of this is, by the way, alluded to or directly said. However you want to look at it in Gemara and Masechah Sukkah. We are over time, right?
Oh wow! Normally I know by everyone coming in what time.
Yeah, I know.
It's quiet.
But I'll finish the thing and then afterwards I'll say that. But this is all almost directly from the Gemara Masechah Sukkah. This is dependent on the choice of the person. If a person truly desires to not turn from the way of Hashem, he's able to arouse within himself the power of the Nefesh Elikis, and then he's able to prevail over the animalistic soul. And this that he's not able to prevail over the natural passion that he has from the Nefesh Bahamis. It's only because he's not arousing the powers of the Nefesh Elikis. Because from above they give him power to stand against the Nefesh Bahamis and to prevail over him. The Nefesh Elikis. And the matter is only dependent on him that he needs to arouse the power of the godly soul. How do you arouse the power of the godly soul? You know some of this. But a person needs to arouse the Nefesh Elikis. When a person thinks the right things, nowadays they're very into it. They call it, it's like one of the kinds of therapies where they'll try to shift your worldview, and like by shifting the worldview, they help people move through traumas. Even though something that I think you could argue maybe definitively is traumatic, but they can shift a person's understanding. I forget what it's called. But they could shift a person's understanding, and by shifting the understanding, they're able to arouse within them the ability to either forgive or to move on or whatever it is that ultimately helps the person. So you need to arouse the Nefesh Elikis. You have a Nefesh Elikis inside of you. All that it needs is some arousal. Arousal by learning. So this you're able to bring out the keshus that it has. So, the kitzur, any questions or?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I think.
The kitzur, and nefesh v'hamis sharsha b'teihu b'klipas snega. The source of the nefesh v'hamis is in teihu and in klipas snega. Mimena b'ayis amid the sarois, the chas v'gayv v'savis ha'anogim, ha'ilubus, the tzonis, the skoris, the amitelim, aslos, v'amid the sachmonos milas chasadim. And from it come all of the things that are listed in Tanya, which, the godly soul, its source above is from Tehu. No, its source is above Tehu. It's a piece of Hashem from above, literally. And the shvuah that they make the Nefesh Elikis swear is to give it the ability to arouse the powers that are within the Nefesh Elikis so that it can prevail over the Nefesh Bahamis.
Is it dependent on what, like, let's say that someone's presented with a potential avera. Is it dependent upon what that particular avera is? Does it depend on the strength of the Yetzer Hara and the Yetzer Tov when the person is trying to decide what to do in that situation?
Could you rephrase that?
Like, let's say that someone is presented with an avera. Let's say eating non-kosher food, just an example.
Yeah.